It's showtime, freaks!
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The Alpha Men Podcast is presented by Garage Door Commander. Fueled by a hell of a lot of PBR. And produced by TJ Michaels Creative. Narrated by Jamie Dennis. Graphics by Sven. Dedicated to Hendrik the Viking Poulsen. 2023, all rights reserved.
Seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
You ever notice how men are portrayed in movies and TV shows? Tired of seeing men portrayed as dopey Homer Simpson clones? Tired of the attack on men? Tired of the woke labeling everything as toxic agenda? Tired of the wussification of the American male? Well, then you're in the right place. Look, we love and respect women around here, but the truth is, we're wired differently than the female species. And if there could be a place where the chicks can get together on TV every day, like that awful program The View, we figured there should be a place where guys can be guys, and we're capable of creating an equally horrid program. So get ready. This is a celebration of man. Because after all, who built the Empire State Building? Who built a rocket and landed on the moon? Who created the very computer algorithm that allows you to find this show?
That was created by Ada Lovelace, a woman.
Okay, great. Credit where it's due. But I think we can all agree the algorithm sucks. Who created the automobile? The Egyptian pyramids? Who stormed the beaches of Normandy? We don't talk about feelings here. We will question the validity of your man card. We're not politically correct, and we'll stand up and fight back against a culture that's determined to transform us into a bunch of neutered pansies. This is your weekly dose of toxic masculinity, a show created by men for men. This is the Alpha Men Podcast. And now, two men who don't own a pair of skinny jeans between them, TJ Michaels and John Stacy.
One of my favorite broadcasters of all time used to open up every one of his shows with the words, "Welcome, you sick, twisted freaks." So we will do the same as an homage. Episode 12 of the Alpha Men Podcast. Can you believe we made it through 12 episodes of this thing?
Hey, we made it longer than Aaron Rodgers did.
It's true. It's true. There's a lot of things that have made it a lot longer than Aaron Rodgers. We're going to get into that a little bit later on tonight. In the meantime, we'd love for you to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell and share. It's how we grow the Alpha Men Podcast, and it's one of the ways that you can help. In fact, the most important way that you can help is just to like, share, and subscribe. And listen, it costs you a bupkis. Nothing. Nada. Not a damn thing. All right? But if you do want to support us in another way, we do have the Alpha Men store online at alphamenpodcast.com. And we've got, look at that, barbecue grill apron. Yeah, at the Alpha Men Podcast store. We've got hoodies and T-shirts.
I'm gonna buy one of those and just wear that. Just the apron.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth. I just want to tell you that. But
look at my hat. Look at that.
Yeah, I see it. Oh, God, disgusting. I'm TJ Michaels. I come to you from Barrie, Vermont. My partner and sidekick and much fatter than me guy is John Stacy. Yeah, from Trinity, North Carolina. And how are you tonight, buddy?
Doing well. Just started raining here for the first time in a couple days.
Yeah. Well, it's only rained twice here.
What? 2 dry days, the rest of rain?
No, once for 37 days and once for 23 days. That's
Seems like it.
That's how it worked out. But listen, we have got a great show for you tonight. All kinds of great stuff. But we are going to do this show tonight and then take a break next week. Okay, there will be no Alpha Men podcast next week. I am going on a big family last hurrah with my adult children. And we're doing a cruise and a couple of days at Universal Studios and the whole 9 yards. And so when we come back, we're going to have big things to talk about, like Alpha Men Give Back. Okay, tell you more about that. We'll tell you more about that in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, let's get this shindig started. Our man of the week this week gets us going. I can't do the show with you wearing that stupid hat. I'm sorry. Can you take that off, please? I just get rid of that somehow.
Sure.
It's
my
no,
hat.
the hat. The hat.
No.
Anyway.
Come on. My Cowboys killed the Giants. I'm going to gloat for at least a week.
Are you serious?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're serious, right?
Yeah. We're here about
you're
about
proud
the
of
man
that?
the week.
I'm
very proud of that.
You beat Saquon Barkley and a bag of chips. That's what you beat.
Okay, Stephen A.
Seriously.
You gotta start making some memes because you copy a lot of these guys.
No, I'm telling you. You didn't beat anyone.
Yeah, we beat the Giants.
Oh my God. The Giants.
Hey, all that matters is we're first in NFC East. Where are you guys?
What do you mean you're first in the NFC East?
By percentage, we are first by all the stats.
Oh, because you played a freaking NFC team.
Yeah, you barely scraped by the Patriots.
It's week one. Excuse me?
Scraped
Stop.
by.
Just
by
stop.
Mac Jones, of all people.
Yeah, okay. All
right, man of the week.
We'll get into that a little bit later on. Our man of the week this week is Brendan Fraser.
What? You mean this guy?
No, not that guy. No. That's actor Brendan Fraser. Our man of the week this week is Warren, Michigan police officer Brendan Fraser. There you see him. He pulled over a car for speeding last Tuesday and discovered there was a mother holding an 18-month-old child who was not breathing. Now, the dash cam and body cam footage captured Officer Fraser's quick response, administering back blows to the baby, causing the obstruction to fly out and the child to resume breathing. He saved the baby's life. And
awesome.
The baby was taken to the hospital for examination, later released to his family, and Fraser is being commended for his life-saving actions as he should be. You know,
see the flag I got back here? What a coincidence!
I do see that. I do see that. You know, most police officers arrive on the scene to, try and console the mother and her brother who's been driving the car. The baby was taken to a nearby hospital, checked out, later released, and returned with his family. So everything came out great. Chief Police Commissioner William Dwyer said later, Fraser, for his life-saving actions, praised him, calling them nothing short of heroic. And that is why Brendan Fraser, not the actor, but the police officer. Yes. No, not that guy. The other guy.
I'm just messing with you. That's awesome.
Police officer from Warren, Michigan is our man of the week this week on the Alpha Men podcast.
Awesome. Awesome job, man.
Now, every week we bring you the signs of the coming apocalypse because we're all doomed, right? I mean,
it's a apocalypse.
He can't even say it. He can't say it.
Still,
he can't say the word.
I'm gonna practice all freaking next 2 weeks.
No, go ahead, say it. Try and say it again.
Apocalypse. I cannot freaking say it. The funny part is I have a hard time.
He's also having Piscetti for dinner.
So I have to type our words out perfectly in our system for because I'm
Right.
upstairs now.
Right.
Qualifying,
Yeah.
it screws me up every time I type it up. I have to double check what I type because if it doesn't match in my system, it screws up the data system in the back end.
Uh-huh.
So qualifying and a pop couple licks.
John works for NASCAR, if that's what he's talking about. We'll get to
Yeah.
that a little bit later on. All right. This week's signs of the coming apocalypse, because we're all doomed. Sometimes a name says it all. Wednesday morning of last week, a boat crashed onto the beach of Cape Hatteras National Seashore in North Carolina. The name of the boat? Turn
can't see
Back.
Wrong way, Gilligan.
The incident happened at 7:30 in the morning. There were 3 people on board when the boat didn't live up to its name and was beached. Yes, the boat named Turn Back. The U.S. Coast Guard is now working with the owner of Turn Back to remove it from the beach. Next, sign of the coming apocalypse. You know, you can find just about anything at a thrift store.
Ew.
In Goodyear, Arizona, it includes an old human skull.
A real one?
Yes. Yeah. A Goodwill store in the area says a box was recently donated, and it contained a skinless head of a formerly living person. Pretty sure the glass eye is fake.
I was gonna say if not,
But the rest of the
pretty well.
skull, the rest of the skull is very, very real. Police say it's an unusual situation. No, you think? After taking possession of the skull, police sent it over to the Office of Medical Examiner for investigation and identification. Yeah, good luck with that. According to Goodwill, the box with the skull came in also contained other taxidermied items. Yeah.
I mean, I know people keep those little skulls and stuff, the ancient ones, but not a full size skull. That's creepy.
Next, I want to introduce you to Tylee and Nick Waters from Utah. Okay. Now, they are social media influencers, whatever that means. Look at them, cute couple, right? You notice that they kind of look alike?
Oh, no.
They also have the same birthday.
That's weird.
We're often told that, gosh, you guys look like family.
Oh, no.
Turns out they are. They're cousins. They didn't know they were cousins when they got married. Now they're married. And they've racked up almost 6 million views after revealing that they're cousins. And, they got no plans to split up.
Oh, God. Like, they're like first cousins or something? Like right there? Not like 6th or 10th or something? I mean, it's still wrong.
No, they're first cousins.
Oh, God.
Didn't know it, though.
What's Utah? Isn't Utah like the...
Yeah, those crazy Mormons. They do all kinds of stuff.
Capital of polygamy or whatever it is?
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Wow.
Next, we got to introduce you to this pregnant woman from the UK. She has gone viral after revealing that...
there she is.
She started leaking blue ink.
Blue?
Yeah, blue ink.
From where?
She's been experiencing some very, very weird pregnancy symptoms. Keisha Sethi is 24, and she said, I was leaking blue ink. Adding, I felt like an octopus.
Was she... Who's her spouse? Was it Papa Smurf?
Papa Smurf, I don't know. The UK resident also noticed blue streaks on her pajamas and all over the bed sheets. She says whatever was happening to her was rare. No, really? The woman she called at the hospital started laughing when she heard the symptoms. So what was it? Sethi, who was 7 months pregnant at the time, finally found out that it turns out it was just her skin and the sweat changing color due to hormones.
Really?
Yeah, she revealed apparently I'm going to say this wrong. Opacrine chromadrosis is a rare disorder of the sweat glands characterized by the secretion of colored sweat.
So I wonder if, you know how they say your blood's blue?
Right.
I wonder if it's something to do with the blood not getting the oxygen to turn red like it usually would, and it's causing it to.
Don't know.
That's
According to
weird.
the National Institutes of Health, luckily for this lady, the blue streak only lasted for a couple of weeks. But
I think she's gonna
yeah,
hang
you'd
out
be
Papa
flipping
Smurf.
out, wouldn't you, if you were pregnant and all of a sudden,
I'd be freaking out if I started sweating blue.
right? Yeah.
I'd be like, there's something ain't right.
Yeah. Our last sign of the coming apocalypse this week, and this is how it all begins. This is it. I'll be right back after my lunch break. Yes, a robot equipped with arms and legs and eyes working alongside humans at a warehouse in Austin, Texas. There you see them. Okay. The humanoid is named Apollo and comes in a 5'8", 160-pound frame, and its job is to move heavy items that weigh up to 55 pounds, according to the tech company Apptronic. Now, the startup says the robot is designed to perform menial tasks and will even do chores at some point in the future, like Rosie from the Jetsons. As of now, the Tin Man can only go 4 hours on one charge. After beta testing these guys through the rest of the year, they plan to move into full production by 2024, according to Apptronic. And that is when the machines take over.
So they probably spent, let's just say it's $200,000
Yeah.
to lift 55 pounds
Yeah.
for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're freaking doomed.
There you go. This week's signs of the coming apocalypse on the Alpha Men podcast.
Tales from the Old Couch.
You know, just on the other side of this camera in the podcast studio here in my house is an old couch. And it used to be in our living room. My wife wanted me to send it curbside. I couldn't do it. The old couch has been with us a long time. And a lot of the big decisions I've made in my life were made on that couch. Maybe a couple of children, too. I don't know. But
Michelle.
just saying. It's where I moved it into the podcast studio because I like to come up here and just sit on it and think. And this week I'm thinking about 9/11. And for those of us who lived through that tragic September day in 2001, it's hard with yesterday being the 22nd anniversary to think about anything else. You know, our perceptions of America and the world and safety and security changed dramatically on that day. But not just perceptions, the country, the world, we as American people changed too. And if you lived through 9/11, you know where you were, what you were doing, and you can almost put yourself instantly back in those moments of terror just thinking about that day. I was in Gainesville, Florida. Where were you?
Waterbury, Vermont.
All right.
My mom's living room, actually.
See, you know everything about where you were and what you were doing.
Yeah.
Because we all have that story. And I'm going to take a second to tell you mine. Just not because it's about me, but because it illustrates a point. I got to work that morning at about 8:30 in Gainesville, Florida, at a radio station, a hot contemporary, hot AC formatted radio station. And we ran a syndicated morning show out of Charlotte, North Carolina called the Bob and Sherry Show. It ended at 9 a.m. And I got to work about 8:30. In Florida, it was a beautiful morning, much like it was in New York and in Washington, D.C., and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, too. Not a cloud in the sky. Little did any of us know that morning that the wheels on 9/11 began turning much earlier in the day. About 5:45 in the morning, exactly, when Mohammed Atta and Abdulaziz Almari, two of the hijackers, passed through a security checkpoint at the Portland International Jetport in Maine. From there, they took a flight to Boston Logan, and then they got on American Airlines Flight 11. You know, nothing could prepare us for the horror that we were about to see play out on live television that day. Keep in mind, this was before social media, before YouTube, before much of what the internet can do today. Back then, it just wasn't possible. I had a TV in my office at work. And I remember sitting down to schedule the radio station's music for the next day and looking up in the corner of my office to see an image of smoke billowing out of the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Immediately knowing something big had happened, I rushed back to the studio where there's another TV and turned it on and the closed captioning, grabbed a legal pad, and started taking notes. Was it a high-rise fire, or was it just a small plane? I knew that at 9 a.m. I was going to have to go to the air with something. In the next 10 minutes, it became clear that this was not an accident. The general manager arrived in the studio, and I handed him the legal pad and pen and pointed to the TV and said, "Take notes." I slid my headphones on and said, "Pass them to me when you have something." And just 3 minutes into my report, the second plane hit the South Tower. And on the air in Gainesville, Florida, I said, "We're under attack." I'll never forget the look of the general manager's face at that point in time. Like I said something that was impossible. You see, on September 10th of 2001, none of this was possible. But on September 11th, we all found ourselves in that state of panic, fear, disbelief. This kind of thing doesn't happen in America. We instinctively knew at that moment that for the foreseeable future, on a station that played primarily music, there would be no music. There would be no commercials. There would be just me relaying information to the best of my ability with my boss, jotting notes on a legal pad on the fly. In less than an hour, 2 more planes would be used as killing machines. And one that didn't reach its intended destination thanks to a group of passengers who fought back. And we all remember the words of Tom Beamer. "Let's roll." That plane would crater into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, thanks to a passenger-led attack on the terrorists on board. Also in less than an hour, the impossible. That giant symbol of world commerce and cooperation would come tumbling down. The South Tower, the first to collapse at 10:03. It would kill thousands. I talked and I talked, reported and reported. The details kept coming, one horrific thing after another, and we weren't sure what was next. Was a plane headed to LA, Chicago, Detroit, Dallas? About 10:30, the North Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed. To wrap it all up, I was on the air that day for 7 hours. Not one song was played.
Wow.
Not one commercial. We filled 3 legal pads full of details. I talked until I was about to lose my voice. And then because we didn't know what to do, we pulled the microphone in front of the television on the cable news network, turned up the volume, and broadcast that for 10 minutes so I could take a break, so I could get a drink, go to the bathroom. Why am I telling you this? Certainly not about me. Certainly many people in New York City and in Washington, D.C. went through way more horrific things.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you this because my recollection of that day is like your recollection of that day. You can remember every single detail. My
Yeah.
wife and I had just become parents on August 20th. My daughter Jordan was born. We had a newborn at home. I remember leaving work that night, driving through the nonstop traffic lights on 34th Street in Gainesville, passing the University of Florida, exhausted, mentally spent, and in a total state of shock. My wife was home with our 22-year-old baby, and she can articulate even the most minute detail of her day.
It's crazy. I remember stuff like that.
Here's where it changes. My children and those who didn't experience that anguish, that fear, that heartbreak, they have a very different understanding of 9/11. My youngest feels the way that you and I feel about 9/11, about the Boston Marathon bombings.
That makes sense.
Her first real exposure to evil. And yet, yesterday's memorials went on at the Freedom Tower in New York, in that field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and at the Pentagon. But this year, there was something different. There was something missing. And that was our commander in chief. The President of the United States decided to go to Alaska to push his green energy policies instead. When he did mention 9/11 in a press conference photo op, he started that press conference photo op with a joke. Mr. Biden, you are the President of the United States of America. And as the President of the United States of America, you need to be either in Freedom Plaza, at the Pentagon, or in that field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania on 9/11.
Amen.
You have turned your back on the families, on the 9/11 families, and on the Americans who hope to never experience a trauma like we all went through on 9/11. And listen, I believe that it's important that we revisit that day,
God,
that
yeah.
we see the tragedy, that we see the horror, and that we remind ourselves and the younger generations of the promise of never forget. And that's why we bring you this.
American 11, are you trying to call?
The cockpit is not answering their phone. Our number 1 has been staffed, and our 5 has been staffed.
Hey, I'm going to call from Washington. I am in a situation with American 11, a possible hijack.
What's going on, Betty? The crap is erratic again. Problems very erratic. Betty, talk to me. Betty, are you there? Betty? Betty?
A plane just What? A 737?
What?
Like the World Trade Center.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
United 175, New York. We have some problems over here right now. We might have a hijack over here, two of them.
Jules, this is Ryan. Lives on an airplane that's been hijacked. If things don't go well, it's not looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. Go have a good time. Same to my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you. And I'll see you later. Bye, babe.
What are those people going to do? All the elevators are blocked out.
Oh my God. So both towers are now.
Okay, I got an aircraft 6 miles east of the White House.
Hello?
Crystal City, just north of Crystal City. Just to the north of your town. Yeah, stop all departures. Pentagon just got hit. Don't say that. God damn it, I can't even protect my NCA.
United 93, that traffic for you is 1 o'clock, 12 miles eastbound 370.
Negative contact, we're looking United 93.
United 93, Cleveland, if you hear the center ident.
I got that piece of dog. Keep remaining steady. You have the ball, boss.
Tuesday, 9:47 a.m.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
We're 56865. We have, I believe it is a Boeing 757. Can you see him up there, sir?
That's confirmed. It looks like he's rocking his wings.
Roger.
He's rocking back and forth.
We're 56865. I advise you stay away from that aircraft. Go north as fast as you can.
United 93, have you got information on that yet?
Yeah, he's down.
He's down?
Yes.
When did he land?
He did not land.
Oh, he's down?
Yeah,
Down?
somewhere up northeast of Camp David.
Sean, it's me. I just want to let you know I love you, and I'm stuck in this building in New York. There's lots of smoke, and I just wanted you to know that I love you always.
At number 2 World Trade Center, right. Ladies and students in this office, we're not ready to die, but it's getting bad.
I'm on the 83rd floor. I'm gonna die, aren't I? No. I'm gonna die.
Ma'am, say your prayers.
God.
We're going to think positive because you got to help each other get off the floor.
I'm
Now,
gonna die.
A new type of war. That's what it is.
American 11, are you trying to call?
The cockpit is not answering their phone. Our number one is in
Very, very hard.
And we don't roll that video for the sake of rolling that video. But it is really important to keep the promise that we all made to each other. And that is to never forget.
I think some of us have. I sat in the airport yesterday. Got my teared up watching that. I sat in the airport yesterday.
Still hits me. I mean, I honestly, to be honest, and I'm reluctant to say this because there are so many people in New York City and in Washington, D.C., and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, that went through such horrific things.
Yeah.
And yet, my part of it, just me being a broadcaster on the radio, was incredibly traumatic. And I don't want this to really be about me, but we're all affected by what happened on 9/11 in our own way. And having said that, here we are 22 years later. I believe in my heart and to my core that every year we need to revisit videos like the one you just saw to remind ourselves and our children and people who weren't necessarily old enough or born yet to understand how this nation was attacked.
It's crazy. Like I was saying, I sat in the airport in Atlanta yesterday. I flew from Kansas to Atlanta to home in Greensboro after the Kansas race. And I remember the timeline very vividly about 9/11. And I had my headphones on, listening to music or watching TikTok, whatever I was doing. And I looked at the time. It was like 8:40 something. I'm like, I wonder if they're going to do anything on the PA in the airport, the world's busiest airport.
Yeah.
Pull my earbuds back, or these headphones back, and nothing. Then 10:03 came around. I was still waiting for my next flight. Nothing. I was like, wow. I figured they would have stopped and said, hey, moment of silence. Or, hey, at this moment, please remember everybody who was affected by 9/11. But nothing. So it shows what was forgotten.
Let's shift gears, so to speak, here.
Yeah.
22 years later, more divided than ever.
Oh, God, yeah.
Politics and wokeness and the media and big tech and culture wars and all the insanity. We've never been more divided. But let's shift gears. I want you today to not think about 9/11, but think about 9/12, 2001. Because that is a day when people came together. When we showed what American resolve is all about. American flags on every house and on every building and on every street corner. People donating blood, volunteers picking up and heading to Washington, D.C. and New York City to scavenge through the rubble, to help in any way that we could. On January 12th, none of us were ideologues. We weren't black, we weren't white, we weren't gay, we weren't straight, we weren't Christian, we weren't atheists. We weren't Republicans or Democrats.
We were
On
Americans.
9/12, we were Americans. And we need to find a way back there. And that, my friends, is Tales from the Old Couch tonight on the Alpha Men Podcast.
John's manly meme of the week.
Wow. Let's just carry off from what you said to.
We got to lighten the mood. We got to lighten the mood a little bit. That was very heavy, and I get it, but it was also very necessary.
So I found this one. It kind of worked out with the ending of what you said on the old couch. You know, how we're divided. But you got the government, you got the paycheck, you got me, you got the cost of living just banging in the butt.
The only thing that I might suggest is we switch the government and the cost of living.
Yeah, oh yeah, the government's always screwing you. That's a given. Always screwing you.
That's a great meme. That is a great meme. Yeah, I like that. The government, my paycheck, me, and the cost of living. Very, very good.
That's how it feels every day. I mean, especially being a father of 2 young kids. It's
No, I get it. Look, we're doing this big family hurrah next week. Cruise and a couple of days at Universal Studios in Orlando, and between the airlines, and the hotels, and just everything. I have no business taking this trip. I got to tell you, I can't afford it. But
bring your camera down a little bit.
What's that?
Bring your camera down a little bit. You keep topping your chin off. Yeah, right there.
How's that? Is that good?
I don't want to see your face, but you've been cutting your chin off a lot talking.
All right.
But it sucks. Just the cost of living, everything else, and being a father too. I think about it all the time. Now I'm like, man, I wish I raised my kids back in my 20s, but I'd be paying child support.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm older now, but times are tough.
I just point out that there's an election coming. If you don't like what's going on, there's an election coming.
Oh, don't worry. I think most of us know this now.
That's all there is to it.
Just don't mail it in.
Yeah, really. That is John's manly meme of the week on the Alpha Men podcast.
Deliver the verdict. This is Man Court. All rise. The sometimes Honorable T.J. Michaels presiding.
I actually need one of those judges' powdered wigs like that.
You should get one.
That's some great Photoshop stuff there, but maybe a judge's robe or something. I don't know. Listen, if you have a problem and you can't solve it and you need the help of the freak jury and Man Court, tell us about it. All you have to do is send your Man Court submissions to us online at alphamenpodcast.com, or you can reach out to one of our social media channels at Alpha Men Podcast. All right. Tonight's case, the case of the private's doctor.
So why is
my Lord.
2 good-looking doctors here? Okay.
Docket number 230913. Our plaintiff is Evan from Naperville, Illinois. All right. Hey, John and TJ, I need Man Court. My name is Evan, and my wife and I are in a big argument right now. I was hoping you could let me know if you think I'm being unreasonable. So here's the situation. My wife and I are both 28 years old and have been together since college. So we've been together almost 9 years. Recently, she switched to a new gynecologist. Oh, my Lord. After the one she's had for years retired. Well, after the first visit, she came home glowing about how young and good-looking her new OBGYN is.
Oh,
God.
It explains the doctor. Okay.
Oh, I didn't think it was funny. I wish she'd never told me that. I don't want her to have a gyno that she finds attractive. Just like she wouldn't want me to have a doctor that looked at my privates and thought I was hot. Oh, boy. I told her to find a new doctor out of respect for me, and she said no. I was being jealous and ridiculous, and that it's not a big deal. I think it is a big deal. Do you think I'm overreacting or have a legitimate gripe here? All right, you can join the freak jury and comment in the comment section, and it will appear live on the screen here during Man Court as we hash this out. Evan writes, what would you do if you were me? Well,
what is?
So, Evan, I believe in being really honest and truthful with your partner. However, there are some things that you probably shouldn't say.
Yeah.
I agree. My new OBGYN is really hot. The truth of the matter is, your wife probably should have never said that to you.
Yeah. Clyde's right. I agree with that.
Well, Clyde writes, well, if you're in what you call a real term relationship, there should be trust. And that's true. Matt, Clyde, you're right. You are right. However,
Vader says, hit the gym, become hotter than a doctor.
yeah, that's too much work. I don't know. You're not going to talk two fat guys into hitting the gym. I just that's just.
I mean, I will tell you, if my doctor looks like that doctor over there,
yeah,
I'm gonna be sick a lot.
Right. I think you are slightly overreacting.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that asking her to pick a new doctor is probably a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Okay?
I agree.
If I'm honest. However, I also understand your concern. I get it. And that's why I say, while it's important to be honest and open with your partner, there are some things that's probably better off not said.
Doctor and patient confidentiality.
Right. If I were you, I would say to her, listen, I'm really kind of uncomfortable with you talking about how hot your gyno is.
Yeah. She's sitting there just spread eagle. Yeah.
But I understand I understand Evan's point of view. Like, he's right now going, man, why did that old fart have to retire?
Yeah.
Like, I got no problem with him checking out her gobbledygook, But this guy, Mr. Movie Star Doctor, Mr. House MD, it's a problem. And look, here's the deal. She's with you, Evan, for a reason. Okay.
You're her favorite guy now.
Are there odds that she leaves you for the hot-looking OBGYN? Yes, but they're very, 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 very minute. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? So try to get past it and just tell her that it makes you uncomfortable. Okay? That's the verdict on Man Court tonight on the Alpha Men Podcast.
Who needs a foot in the ass? The Alpha Men Podcast presents
my foot into this thing called your ass.
The Red Foreman Awards.
You dumbass.
Man, one of my favorite shows of the 90s was that 70s show. Red Foreman was an icon. And a lot like my dad. And honestly, my dad was the greatest dad ever. But, Red Foreman had his way of showing love. And we're going to show some love with the Red Foreman Awards tonight. We hand them out to the biggest dolts, idiots, and morons of the week. And, this week our first Red Foreman Award goes to...
Oh, come on. I was ready for you to say...
Oh, you'll have a classic case of foot stuck in ass.
You screwed up this time. I was waiting
I'm sorry. I did screw up. Yeah. Well, here we go. Our first Red Foreman Award goes to... Well, let me just explain. Here's a helpful tip for any wannabe criminals trying to stay off the radar. Even when they're already on the radar, don't do what this guy did in a hardware store in Ashtabula, Ohio. Yes, at an Ace hardware location, because Ace is the place, apparently. A security video captured a man using one of the store's hedge clippers to cut off his ankle monitoring bracelet.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
He placed the bracelet on a shelf and then walked out after helping himself to a free bag of popcorn offered at the door. Store employees called the police and were told they were told it wasn't a police matter. So then they called the number for the Ohio Adult Parole Authority, and that number was listed on the bracelet. Who then came to the store, claimed their property. Hopefully, they were able to catch the parolee as well.
How did he cut it off? TV says you did. The camera said you did.
Our next Red Foreman Award goes to Reza Bellucci, the Florida man. Yes, a man is facing federal charges after the U.S. Coast Guard spotted him 70 nautical miles in a hydropod. That's that hamster wheel looking thing.
Yeah,
right?
I thought so.
Off the coast of Georgia, as Hurricane Franklin pummeled the East Coast, Reza Bellucci claimed he was headed to London in the hamster wheel looking vehicle, which was afloat as a result of wiring and buoys. However, when the Coast Guard were putting a stop to his manifestly unsafe voyage, Bellucci threatened to kill himself, brandishing a 12-inch knife. He also claimed to have a bomb on board, which thankfully turned out to be a lie. Bellucci surrendered 3 days later. And just a fun fact, this is the third time authorities have intercepted his hydropod.
Dumbass.
Holy crap.
Our next Red Foreman Award goes to Patrick Spina of Absecon, New Jersey, who got popped for dropping green dye into neighbors' pools all summer long using a drone.
Oh. I don't know if it's a dumbass. It's pretty good.
One of the pools was the Quality Inn Motel. They've been terrorized all summer by a drone dropping neon green dye into the water. Patrick Spina IV, 45, arrested Monday in Absecon, New Jersey, after allegedly being behind the drone that has ruined so many people's summers. Police who have been working with the FAA spotted the drone flying on September 1st, tracked it to Spina's office at the Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling Company. Spina was booked on multiple counts of criminal mischief, but has been released with upcoming court proceedings. He also may face fines of more than $30,000 and will likely have his drone certification taken away.
It'd be good if you did this like on St. Patrick's Day.
I got to tell you, it's a pretty good prank.
It's a really good prank.
It's a pretty good prank. Next, Red Foreman Award goes to Lynn Hain of Parma, Ohio. Well, a Chipotle worker in Ohio says she's suffering from PTSD now after having a fully loaded burrito bowl hurled at her face recently. The incident went down in Parma, Ohio, and appears to have started when customer Rosemary Lynn Hain, 39, got upset about the way her order came Tuesday night of last week. In a clip that was posted online, the irate woman is berating what appears to be a young female employee named Emily Russell behind the counter. After a quick back and forth with Russell, Hain slams the uncovered bowl of food into Russell's face, leaving it dripping all over her hat and shirt. Gasps can be heard from customers as Hain storms out of the restaurant. She didn't get away with it, by the way. Cops say that Hain has been charged with assault, disorderly conduct. Meanwhile, a GoFundMe page has been launched for Russell to use as she sees fit. And, not all is bad, though, for Ms. Hain, who gets a Red Foreman Award.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Finally, our last Red Foreman Award goes to a local story here in Vermont. Dana McIntyre of Vermont, who got busted for buying an alpaca farm with a PPP loan.
Oh.
former pizzeria owner, has been popped for using over $660,000 in ill-gotten gains through relief funds to buy an alpaca farm. In 2020, Dana McIntyre, who lives in Vermont, uh, uh, allegedly submitted a fraudulent claim for a Paycheck Protection Program loan. According to prosecutors, he claimed he needed money for payroll expenses at the pizza place. What the hell is he paying his pizza people?
Yeah, in Vermont.
$160,000? Some of the highest paid pizza people ever.
I wish I got the PPP loan back when it all happened, but I didn't.
Anyway, but after getting the cash, he sold the restaurant and used the dough to buy 8 alpacas and a farm. He also paid for 2 vehicles, a radio airtime to host his own radio show. And at his sentencing, McIntyre was ordered to pay back all the money after pleading guilty to 4 counts of wire fraud and 3 counts of money laundering. But again, not all bad for Dana McIntyre of Vermont. You did get a Red Foreman Award this week.
So I got a question here. Piano-shaped object. Her
Piano
comment, or his comment, him.
Northern Ohio really shined with the Red Foreman Awards this week.
What happened in Northern Ohio?
Well, the Chipotle thing.
What?
That we just told you about.
Oh! Yeah, dumbass.
And what else?
Dumbass.
Hedge clippers. Did that happen in Ohio? Yeah.
No, okay.
No, yeah, Ashtabula, Ohio. Yeah.
All right.
That happened in Ohio, too.
I wasn't paying attention to location.
That
sense, though.
Is the Red Foreman Awards this week on the Alpha Men podcast.
There's nothing more manly than motorsports. These are John's red flag moments.
Zero. Nothing to do with wheels of any kind. It was just
okay.
The moment snapped in my mind.
Yeah.
And I figured, screw it. What's this? We're not gonna do. We're gonna do any kind of motorsports, any crashing and things. We're gonna jump right into it.
Red flag moment from last night.
Years with the Rams.
Oh no!
First round pick of the Bears, and now
oh
Rodgers
boy!
Sits down.
Oh. Yeah. That's a $75 million tackle right there, my friends.
Yeah. So, the reason I brought this up, I mean, yeah, $75 million for a 2-year deal. He took 4 snaps. Well, 5 if you count his ankle. That breaks
What's
down.
That? That's like $20 million.
Now, $18,750,000 per snap.
Per snap.
For 4 snaps.
Unbelievable. If you're a Jets fan right now, you are insane. Right? And Carson Wentz right now is sitting over his phone like a guy on prom night. You know, like waiting for the phone to ring.
And you know he's retired. He's got to retire. He's 39 years old.
Oh, he has to. He has to. It's
the Achilles is not an easy thing to heal. It always has problems after. So, I mean, it wasn't a race car thing. It wasn't people crashing anything. It just hit me. I'm like, this is a huge thing.
From the home office in Shunk, Pennsylvania, the 9 things that have lasted longer than Aaron Rodgers' Jets career. Here we go. Number 9, Snoop's weed. Actually, I have 10. I have 10 things. 10 things that have lasted longer than Aaron's Jets career. Number 10, a Capri Sun. You ever had a Capri Sun? You can drink that thing in like 3 seconds, right?
Me and Connor shared one.
Number 9, Snoop's weed. All right. Number 8, a sleeve of those Do-si-do Girl Scout cookies at Girl Scout cookie time. Gone.
That's the mix for me.
Number 7, a box of chocolates at Rosie O'Donnell's house. lasted longer. Lasted longer than Aaron Rodgers' Jets career. All
Oh,
right.
Lord.
Number 6, Kim Kardashian's virginity. Lasted longer than Aaron Rodgers' Jets career. Number 5, New Coke. Lasted longer than Aaron Rodgers' Jets career. Number 4, my paycheck lasts longer.
Not by much, though, but yeah.
Right. Number 3, cooked bacon at Johnny Racer's house on the kitchen counter. Yeah. Johnny Racer is a friend of ours who has an affliction for bacon. Kind of an inside joke, but we'll pass it along.
Peek's comment right here. Bag of gummy bears in John's hands.
Oh, wait, Peek. I'm going to get there. Wait, I'll get there. Number 2, the flavor in fruit stripe gum lasted longer than
right.
Aaron Rodgers' Jets career. And number 1, John Stacy's diet plan lasted longer
you dink.
than Aaron Rodgers' Jets career.
Oh.
There you go.
I hate you.
There you go.
Hey, we're going right through. Your team sucks next.
Do it.
All right, let's go. Your team sucks. Eagles.
I can't
We're talking about
handle
the Eagles.
that. I can't handle that.
Which part? The Eagles suck or
No,
Tom
the
Brady?
picture of Tom Brady looking like
It was.
He
it
looks
was
like
perfect.
freaking Jim Carrey in that picture.
He does.
Does he not?
Yeah, he
He
does.
looks like Jim Carrey and Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah, when he's taking the switching from him and Charlie, whatever it is. Yeah. Now, the reason I brought this one up is because Kraft, or he came back, retired as a Patriot.
Yeah.
And Kraft waived the.
Well, wait a minute. Has he actually retired as a Patriot yet? I think they're having a ceremony for him later in the season.
Okay.
I don't think he's actually retired yet. They open this look, the Krafts are freaking geniuses when it comes to this stuff. They brought him back for Tom Brady Appreciation Day, which was the opening of the season, but they're going to milk this thing again.
It's money.
They've got a whole retirement ceremony and the whole thing's in the works.
But with Aaron Rodgers hurt, there's always a chance Brady go Jets.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady has a chance to do the most screwed up thing ever right now.
Can you imagine that?
I mean,
holy crap.
So I get on the phone with the Jets office and go, hey, I retired. My wife then divorced me. My kids left. Now I got no reason not to play football.
Yeah.
So
maybe get
what do you think?
But it's the Jets, so we know it ain't gonna happen.
I tell you one guy who is on the phone with the Jets office, and that's Carson Wentz. He's like, "Hey, I'm out here," and Colin Kaepernick.
I was just gonna say,
I'm out here.
You see him? He's like, I'll play for the Jets.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's Kraft waived the thing for the Hall of Fame for him, so he can get in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Brady does deserve it. I mean, despise the guy, but I respect what he's done on the field.
He's the GOAT, man.
He is.
He is. That's all there is to it.
So I would never admit to it until I said, if he brings the Bucs to the Super Bowl, I'll eat crow.
And here's the deal.
Son of a bitch did it.
There is the back and forth between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Who is better? Because Bill Belichick is always called the GOAT football coach, and Tom Brady's always called the GOAT quarterback. And here's the deal. If Bill Belichick doesn't have Tom Brady, I don't think Bill Belichick is the GOAT coach. I really don't.
It kind of reminds me of the Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus.
Yeah.
I mean, 7-timer. Now, Chad's not really crew chief anymore. He's director of competition for Hendricks. I'm not sure what he does, but even after Jimmy left, Chad wasn't Chad.
Yeah.
So that makes good reference.
Nonetheless, it was cool to see him ring the bell on the lighthouse there at the game, and then my Eagles destroyed them.
No, you didn't destroy them. You scraped by.
Dude, it was week 1. All right. You have to understand, Philadelphia doesn't play preseason like your Cowboys, like where all
Say
the starters.
preseason. This is week 1.
No. But here's the deal: Philadelphia doesn't play preseason like your Cowboys, where all the starters play and everything else. We're just trying to figure out who's going to be on the 53-man roster. Week 1 of the NFL for the Eagles is the first time the starters actually play together. They're actually on the field all at the same time.
So
is there
practice,
gonna be,
they don't practice together?
Is there going to be a couple of bugs, game time situations? Yeah, they'll figure it out. The Eagles are twice the team of the Dallas Cowboys and 4 times the team of the New England Patriots, and will be in the Super Bowl this year. Mark my words. And that's all there is to it.
We're going on. All right. So the Lions beat Kansas City.
That was big.
Freaking Lions beat the Super
Bowl. That was big.
Champs.
Dude, the Lions are tough.
They came out of the gate and owned that game.
And
everybody said, well, Travis Kelce wasn't there. Still, Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes supposed to be great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he is good. He is good.
And here's the deal. As a member of the NFC with the Eagles and you with the Cowboys, part of us wants to go, yeah, let's hope the Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Detroit Lions are in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't want the Detroit Lions.
I get it.
But yet,
but
you do.
It was huge.
It was huge. It was a big game. What are your thoughts about this past weekend and all the other games? Like, look, Pittsburgh is junk. They are absolute trash.
The preseason hype Pete was just talking about here. There was so much positive about them. They were going to dominate.
They're trash.
They
are absolute trash. Okay.
The Niners ate them up like fucking gummy bears.
The Jets are going to be absolute trash now that Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Hey, Zach Wilson might have a shot.
Stop.
See the other picture out here of Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
I threw that up there just because I think they made it right. I actually had this up before the whole Aaron Rodgers situation. Because he came out and beat the hell out of the Bears.
Yeah. And the Bengals lost this week to the Browns. Everybody's been talking about how big the Bengals are. What a team the Bengals are.
The highest paid quarterback, the highest paid player in the NFL.
Oh, the Bengals are going to be in it this year. Bengals. Well, the Bengals got beat by the freaking Browns. You know? That's why week 1 is never a good indication of what's going to happen in the NFL.
Oh,
season.
here because you see
especially
the Cowboys,
when your team is the Dallas Cowboys and you beat the New York Giants
40-0.
Yes.
7 sacks.
Yes.
3 turnovers.
Yeah. And this past weekend, Penn State University beat the University of Delaware 63-7. Okay. The Giants are the University of Delaware. Congratulations, Cowboys.
Are not. They're a playoff team last year.
They are. They got one player.
But they spent $40 million. They spent $40 million on Daniel Jones.
Oh, what a loser! What a loser pick! What? Honest to God. And Daniel Jones. Look, I used to program a sports talk radio station, and one of the guys who worked for me, just adamant that Daniel Jones is a real deal. Daniel Jones is it. Daniel Jones. I'm like, dude, Daniel Jones is one step away from Carson Wentz territory. And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so.
No, but yeah. The Cowboys game, I'm hoping that's just an indication of what we're going to do the rest of the season. Obviously, we're not going to do a 40-0 rest of the season, but we're better than your freaking Eagles.
Not going to happen.
See? Read. Right there. See it?
All right. Somebody ban C-Lad.
No. Let's go on to this next story about the Phillies.
Yeah, Philadelphia Phillies have announced that Trey Turner has gone on paternity leave.
Okay.
You remember like the stories of guys who played in games while their wife was in labor? You know? Yeah, not Trey Turner. Not Trey Turner. He went on paternity leave September 5th. Fun fact, September 5th is exactly 9 months after Turner inked his massive 11-year, $300 million contract with the Phils. That's left almost everyone with a comment on Twitter to come to some conclusion, or at least the same conclusion. Clearly, that massive contract was a huge turn on for both Trey and his wife, Kristen.
I guess so.
Here's to a healthy, happy birthday and a productive return to the field, I guess. But
it's $300 million. That baby.
$300 million a year, and you get paternity leave. Sign me up.
Shit, I'll be Daniel Jones for $40 million.
Yeah, really. No kidding.
All right. So here's a video of Larson.
Look how close this is. The 6, the 9, the 5. Big contact between the 5 and the 9. I actually think the 5.
Watch this. He just bangs right. Oh, I missed it, but. So the reason I brought this up, this is a pretty hot topic this week. Larson's and Chase are teammates.
Yeah.
Both Hendrick Motorsports.
Yeah.
Chase just slammed right into Larson. Now, let's keep this in mind. Larson's in the playoffs.
Chase is
not. They're both teammates.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an issue and one of your teammates is in the freaking playoffs, don't smash in their car. Don't hit their car.
Yeah.
Good. So he went over to him and screamed at him after the race, everything else, on pit road.
Yeah.
But this was the exit pit road, and it wasn't even Larson's fault. It was Brad Keselowski was coming out right there. You see him, he pinches him, and they went 4 wide. That you can't go off into the grass because you have to stop and you can't advance your position if you go on the grass.
Mm.
So he has to hold his ground, and Chase can't go nowhere. The 45's on his outside.
Hey, how do you know all of these rules about NASCAR like that?
You learn a lot when you sit in the tower, I tell you that.
John works for NASCAR. Yeah. Now you know. Anyway.
So, and I watched it happen, and they brought it up on the screen inside, and we looked at it, and there's no infractions or penalties or anything like that, but it was Chase was way out of line. Chase is showing,
I agree. I agree Chase was out of line.
At the moment, he didn't know what was going on.
But I got to tell you, Larson's been involved in some crap over the past couple of weeks that's very questionable.
It could be, yeah. But that's not the time to do it on the track. After discuss it, watch a video, but not right there. I mean, what if he bumped a toe out? I mean, Larson was a contender most of the race.
I think after the race, you go to the Alamo car rental place, like Rowdy Burns and Cole Trickle.
Yeah,
and you settle it there. That's what I think.
It was a foolish move on Chase's part. I mean, I get the aggression. These guys are under a lot of pressure. I mean, they're focused. They're in tune, but don't do it to a playoff car, especially a teammate.
Is Kevin Harvick going to win a race before he calls it quits?
Yeah, he's got to. He's got to drive.
I think so too.
That actually brings me to the next story.
Yeah.
Who's in? Who's not? Because we're coming up to the Bristol, which is the cutoff race.
Mm-hmm.
Larson's in. Reddick's in.
Terrible week for Martin Truex Jr., by the way.
3 laps. Third lap.
He's out. I was going to say 3 or 4 laps he was done.
So he refused to get out of the car because he was trying to drive it back, and he couldn't get it to move.
Yeah, and for all the talk of Bubba Wallace, he had a pretty bad weekend too.
His car could not. Everything he did it wasn't his fault. I think it was just the car. It was. Well, I mean, his driver's fault.
Of that list of drivers, you got Brad Keselowski there, who's probably my sentimental favorite just because he drives for Roush Fenway, and I'm a big Jack Roush fan, and I'm a bigger Mark Martin fan. So, but with Chris Buescher, I root for too. But I look at that list right there. And it would be awesome. Wouldn't it be awesome just to see like Michael McDowell?
So Michael McDowell was
just to like catch fire. A guy who's like won 2 races in his entire career, just an underfunded team, no money, no wind tunnel time, no support from the manufacturers. Just see him come out and run the freaking table. That
it
would be
cool.
awesome.
So in Kansas, we had a long green run at the end.
Yeah.
And the fuel was becoming an issue. So a lot of people were going in and pitting.
Yeah.
And McDowell was staying right out there. The 38 was staying out there. They were pushing together. And you kept hearing from the spotters or whatever it was the spotters, but you were hearing from somebody that there was debris on the track.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming, like always, back in my track services days, it's because there's debris on the track, but really it's not because they want a caution. So they can go in under caution, get fuel.
Right.
Because McDowell, he came out of nowhere the last, I don't know, 40 laps, and he was contending for the win.
Yeah.
But fuel strategy screwed him.
If I had to pick one driver, to win out of all of those, out of the round of 16, sentimentally, it's Kevin Harvick. I want to see Kevin Harvick finish strong before he wraps it all up. If it's not Kevin Harvick, it's either Brad Keselowski or Chris Buescher, just because of my allegiance to Mark Martin.
I'm gonna go with. I mean, yes, Harvick overall because what he's done for the industry, but God, I'd love to see.
You got to think about back to the beginning of Harvick's career. This is a guy who stepped into a Richard Childress ride the week after Dale Earnhardt Sr. was killed.
Yeah.
I mean, unreal.
I would like to see, like you said, probably Michael McDowell or Buescher, Reddick. It'd be great to see the 23XI team get a championship. Bubba.
Who's the guy on that list you don't want to see?
Oh, probably Joe Logano or...
Me, it's Ricky Stenhouse. I think he's a no-talent hack. I mean, that's just...
he's a nice guy, and he's won some big races, so...
I think he's a no-talent hack. He's more famous for dating Danica Patrick than he was for driving a race car.
Yeah.
And Danica Patrick was more famous for doing GoDaddy commercials than driving a race car. So, anyway.
Yeah. Actually, you know what I like to see on it besides Harvick? I'll probably get a crap for it, is Hamlin.
Where are we headed this week?
I'm heading to Bristol tomorrow morning.
Night race.
Yep. It's the cutoff race.
That's one race I've never been to. I've always wanted to go to.
The Coliseum, I tell you, it's freaking loud.
Thanks for the invite and the hot passes. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Come on down.
Yeah.
No, but it's Bristol, the Coliseum. To go there for the first time, it's like I don't know if I was more excited to walk into that place the first time or the Daytona 500 for the first time. Because
I've been to Daytona.
They felt the same. You've been to the 500?
I've not been to the 500. I've been to the July race.
Yeah, it's a different environment. So I've been lucky.
Yeah.
I've been to the Coliseum. I've been to North Wilkesboro. Those were great to see for the first time.
I went to Daytona the race after Dale Sr. was killed, that Dale Jr. won.
The 400.
Britney Spears sang the national anthem, and I was down there standing right in front of her. And after the race, we were walking down pit road, and Chocolate Myers reached out from Dale Jr.'s pits. They were sweeping up the lug nuts off pit road, and he handed me 4 lug nuts off of Dale Jr.'s car, and I still have them.
Nice.
So, very, very cool.
They won't give those to you now. It's just one big lug nut, and they won't give those out.
Yeah, no, I know. I know.
But
they were all painted yellow.
Yeah, they still are. For Xfinity and trucks, they're still yellow. There's some pink ones, but mainly yellow. There's only one pink one that's the primary hit first.
Yeah. But. So who's hot at Bristol?
God, I don't know. Honestly, I don't
Harvick,
know.
Denny Hamlin. I would have to say Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch, yeah. Kyle's probably the top dog there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's swept that place, I think, twice.
But he's had a rough go in the last 2-3 months.
Hey, he
He's
still
had
wants
some
some races.
Huh?
He still wants some races this year,
Yeah.
but the last 3 months have been pretty rough for him.
Yeah, the juices are not flowing on that team. So
Yeah, but if he takes this one to Bristol, which he's probably the fan favorite, or the statistically probably the best is probably Kyle Busch for this race.
yeah, we'll see. Saturday night,
like 7 p.m. I think.
Yeah,
I
night race.
I live
Night race at Bristol. Look, I've been to Pocono, I've been to Dover,
Sucks.
I've been to Watkins Glen, I've been to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, I've been to Daytona. There's 2 tracks that I really, really want to go to. One is Bristol, and the other is Dega.
Dega is a freaking beast. I go there the following week.
Yeah.
Oh no, I go Texas next week, and then Dega.
Thanks for the invite. I appreciate the hot pass.
Come on down next year. We'll go to Bristol or Dega. Dega is huge, freaking huge.
Yeah.
Bristol's tiny, but Bristol, for experience, both are a huge experience.
My sister went to Bristol with her husband and came home with a golf cart they didn't own.
That sounds like Dega. Not Bristol. That happened at Bristol?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So Bristol's pretty mellow compared to Talladega.
Yeah. Yeah. So
right,
I do know at Bristol there is such a place, just like there is at New Hampshire, known as Jelloville.
In New Hampshire?
There's a Jelloville in New Hampshire, and there's a Jelloville in Bristol. I'm very, very familiar with the Jelloville in New Hampshire.
I don't remember much from Jelloville.
I remember a lot.
I bet you don't remember the most of that night.
There are parts of that night I don't remember, but I remember a lot about Jelloville. So,
I saw more than ever I wanted to see that night.
I'm sure you did. We'll get into that some other time. That's tales from the other tales from the old couch on an extremely lighter week.
Oh God.
So, in any case, is this our last sports story?
Yes, that's it. We're going to fake news.
All right, let's do that. All right, we put John to the paces with real or fake news. We're going to give you 3 headlines. You can play along using our home game. We're going to give you 3 headlines. Your job, John, and those watching at home, is to identify the real story. 2 headlines are fake. 1 is real. Which one is the real story? Here are your headlines. New study finds sleeping standing up like cows promotes brain and body health. New study finds sleeping standing up like cows promotes brain and body health. That's headline number 1.
Okay.
Headline number 2. Woman sues Olive Garden for refusing to refill breadsticks for 33rd time.
Holy crap. Wow. 33 times. I would die.
Lady, save room for the entree. Just saying. And vinyl headline, 3-legged bear breaks into home to drink White Claws. 3-legged bear breaks into home to drink White Claws. All right. 2 of those headlines are fake. 1 of them is real. New study finds sleeping standing up like cows promotes brain and body health. Woman sues Olive Garden for refusing to refill breadsticks for 33rd time. And 3-legged bear breaks into home to drink White Claws. Which story is real?
I could see I'm going Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
It makes sense. I mean, the bear makes sense because bears break into stuff all the time, but...
Mm-hmm. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm going with Olive Garden.
Would you like to phone a friend?
No.
Would you like to poll the audience?
We can pull the audience.
No, I'm sorry. I just always wanted to say that.
Oh.
Like Regis. All right, here we go. Your answer is the Olive Garden headline. That's your final answer?
Yeah.
Damn it. Not correct. The real story is a semi-famous three-legged bear called Tripod. Has made waves in Florida recently when he was caught on camera breaking into a house to have a party of one. Josari Fantil Diageo says she received a security notification around 5 p.m. on Sunday and saw that Tripod was sculling around the property. Her 13-year-old son was home and saw Tripod tearing a hole into the enclosed porch. Once Tripod got in, he made his way to the mini fridge, found some fish food, and then made his way over to the bar where he downed 3 mango strawberry White Claws. Must be a female bear.
What?
The residents say this is the second time he's made himself at home. I was not scared because we now know the bear really well. He lives here. We respect their habitat as much as we can. Yeah.
So what she said, she can leave a cooler outside with fucking White Claw mango beer for her.
Apparently. Must be a female bear.
Imagine if that bear gets hammered.
Listen, can we get to this? Can I just say this? No self-respecting man drinks White Claw, okay? I'm just telling you.
That bear can't get too drunk because he have a problem walking. He's going to be stumbling.
Dude, it's White Claw.
You
He'll be
drink enough for
fine.
anything.
He'll be fine. That is real or fake news tonight on the Alpha Men podcast.
I want some Olive Garden breadsticks now. About 33 servings. I tried pushing the button.
All righty, beers on tap. Each week we end the show with a couple of beers. Why?
Because I look at your face.
Seemed like a good thing to do when we were putting this whole thing together.
I prefer listening on the radio instead of looking at you every freaking
Right,
day.
I get it. I know. I have a face for radio. I understand.
Yes, you do.
I understand. This week, beers on tap. Oh, you are a jerk. You
Yes,
really
I am.
are a jerk.
I do
So
understand.
here's the deal. I grew up in central Pennsylvania, little town called Turbotville, just south of Williamsport, where they just played the Little League World Series. And in the state of Vermont, where I live now, I cannot get the number one selling beer in the state of Pennsylvania, which is... Oh, it's painful. That is a painful sound for me.
Oh.
Yingling Lager. Why? Because Yingling Lager doesn't distribute to the state of Vermont. And it sucks. Yingling Lager.
This is
We
what it
want
did
you
when it
in
sucked.
Vermont. It's America's
North
oldest
Carolina.
brewery since 1829. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. I don't even need notes for this. I can tell you everything you need to know about this beer.
What's it taste like?
Huh? It's great. If you say this beer sucks, you're an a-hole.
No.
All right.
Well, besides being from Philadelphia, it's pretty
It's
damn
not
good
from
beer.
Philadelphia. It's from Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pottsville? Okay, then we're good. I like
All
it.
right. Okay, here's the deal.
It's family
It's
operated.
the America's oldest brewery. And the brewery in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, literally butts up against the people's houses. Like, people built houses right around the brewery. Like, their house is like 3 feet away from the wall of the brewery.
We should
crazy.
buy a house and tunnel in.
Dude.
It's good beer. I like
It's
that beer.
great beer.
Now, the
It is
Hershey beer.
Great beer.
I had a Hershey beer, and I did not like that.
Well, I mean, Yingling does. Yingling Porter, Yingling Lager, Yingling Light, Yingling
Black.
Flight, Yingling Black and Tan. And they also do some specialty beers. One of them, because they're in Pennsylvania and because Hershey chocolate is from Pennsylvania. They do, what is it, a Hershey chocolate stout?
Yeah,
Something like that.
I had hopes for it. I got it, and it wasn't gross.
It's a dessert beer. It's a dessert beer. It's not a beer that's intended for you to drink 15 of them and get hammered.
Yeah.
It's for one. It's designed for you to have one after dinner or dessert, and that's it. So, and to make this point, a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Okay,
that's really good.
I was doing promos for the Boston Beer Company and for Twisted Tea and for, I was doing all kinds of bar promotions. Essentially, they were paying me $50 an hour to go throw T-shirts at people. It was a pretty good deal, right? So they came out with this product called Not Your Father's Root Beer.
Oh, that's good.
And it was an alcoholic root beer.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I had to do some promos for it. And it was good. It was really good. In fact, it was so good that after I did a promo, my wife went and picked up like a 12-pack of it because we had a bunch of friends who were having a barbecue party type thing.
Yep.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. It's really good, but it's also really heavy. And it's not something like you drink 6 of, okay? Because if you drink 6 Not Your Father root beers, you're going to die.
Do they still make those?
Yeah, they're still around. They're still around.
Yeah, those were good.
But that's the way that Yingling Chocolate Stout is. It's not something. It's not something that's designed for you to have to go and pound away.
For me, I could drink those root beers nonstop, but that I don't know. The chocolate part of it it ruined the taste of the beer for me. And I've had chocolate beers. Alan gave me a chocolate beer one time last year, a year before, and we shared a couple pounders of it. It was.
Hold on, you got to hear this sound.
Okay.
Oh. That, my friends, is the sound of a Genesee beer.
What are you, 70?
Now, here's the deal. I don't really like Genesee beer. I hate Genesee Cream Ale. Not a fan of Jenny or Jenny Light. However, there is a new product called Jenny Black. Okay. It is 8% alcohol.
Oh, damn.
And it is super califragilisticexpialidocious cheap. Okay?
Say that again.
Super califragilisticexpialidocious cheap.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a professional. I can say apocalypse. So here's the deal. This can, and actually this can, which I've been drinking while we've been talking, $1.19 a piece.
This is like $2.99 or $2.29 or something.
$1.19 for an 8%, 24-ounce can of beer.
You get wrecked for $20.
How can you go wrong? $20, $8.
I can't drink like I used to. But back then, $20 was about my limit.
Yeah. So it is what they call a high gravity lager. And I got to be honest with you, I just popped the top of this one, but while we've been moving through the show here, I've been taking a sip on another one that I've had standby because I always buy 2. It's actually pretty good, and it doesn't taste like Jenny.
What is it compared to? Like, is it hoppy?
It's not hoppy. It's honestly, if I have to be honest, it's a lager like Yingling Lager. I mean, but
this is light.
But the alcohol content is a lot higher. This is light too. It's not.
This reminds me of like a Budweiser, but not a Bud Light. It's kind of like the middle of them. You know how Budweiser was a tart and Bud Light was lighter?
Yingling Lager is created by Yingling Brewing Company, Pottsville, Pennsylvania, America's oldest brewing company, since 1829.
Wow.
All right. That is where you go. Genesee, obviously upstate New York. 125 years they've been brewing the beer. 1878 they started. And I say their secret is a 2-row barley malt, corn grits, and hops from the Yakima Valley. And, well, Genesee beer, forever a classic for a lot of folks. I'm not normally a Genesee beer fan, but I got to be honest, this ain't bad.
I give this Yingling a 9.
I don't know that I'd go 9, but it's a 7.
I'm not trying.
It's a 7
for $1.19.
and it's cheap. I mean, you can get in the bag for like $8. Just saying.
When I come back to Vermont, I'll bring you up some Yingling.
Oh, every time I go home to see my parents in Pennsylvania, I come home with 3 cases.
On your cruise, are you going out of country?
Yeah. We're leaving Port Canaveral and we're going to Castaway Cay, and
I may have you look for a couple Jack Daniel bottles in the duty free shops because you're going over.
Okay. Yeah,
because
I
there's
can.
a couple I can't get here in America.
Yeah, I'll look. Absolutely. Alrighty. That is Beers on Tap tonight. Parting thoughts?
Well, before party thoughts,
yeah,
we won't be here next week.
Yeah, no.
So we'll be
in the middle of the ocean, and I'm not paying the $7,000 to Disney for the internet connection.
Yeah,
because that's what it costs.
We're going to take
it's ridiculous.
We're pretty much live again, and after that, up until the only we can't be live for is going to be the end of October when I go to Phoenix.
But we do have a great big Halloween special planned. So
yes, we do.
May not be live, but you won't know.
Yeah, that's when we'll be. I have to go to Phoenix. I land the same time it happens. So,
and when I come back, details on a new initiative called.
Wait a second. I won't be. I land. It's 3 hours behind us.
Yeah.
So, no, we could do the show live.
Okay.
Never mind. It clicked in my head. It's 3 hours behind us.
There we go.
So,
and details when we come back, hopefully, relatively soon on a project called Alpha Men Give Back.
Oh, I'm excited.
And that is coming. All right, let's get to parting thoughts. Parting thoughts this week. Study says women prefer beer-bellied men. Yes.
That's why I have a hot wife.
Sorry. Planet Fitness, the global fitness company, conducted a survey in which 200 men and women responded to a question asking them what type of body they find most attractive. According to the response, it was found that as much as 70% of the women preferred a man who is overweight by at least 20 pounds.
Oh, shit.
Right.
At least or at most?
At least.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Why women love men with beer bellies is a question that is probably on your mind. According to Yale professor Richard, I'm not going to say his last name because I'm going to butcher it. A logical and biological explanation exists. When men have beer bellies, their testosterone level tends to increase, which means they have a stronger immune system. This results in a longer life, and that's why women are attracted to them. So, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus, and there is a God because women love beer bellies. Matt is our parting thought. And having said that, there you go.
That's nothing. Amateur.
Oh, my God, don't. Jesus. Get him back into the water. He's dying.
I take shits bigger than you.
Hold on. I can't hear a word you're saying because when I stood up, my headphones unplugged. Hold on a second.
Mine are wireless.
There we go.
I say I take shits bigger than you.
Yeah, I know. Great. That is going to do it for episode 12.
You have a good cruise.
Yeah, we will see you in 2 weeks. The Alpha Men Podcast on YouTube, on Twitter, on YouTube, on
Rumble.
Facebook Live, Rumble,
Twitch.
and Twitch.
Yep.
See you in 2 weeks. Have a great night.
Peace.
Over and out.